We are live. I have a license to operate 2 radio high power. I'm sorry, Scott, I don't understand. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Cheers. Let me know if you can hear me. I will have a sip of wine. A sip of the wine. If you know Bobitz. He has a really nice channel. You should check it out. And he's drinking a sip of the coffee. And I'm drinking a sip of the wine. Hi, everyone. Maurice. David. Wim. Fausto. Hey, Snoopy over the hills. Wow, nice. Hello, everyone. Cheers. Let's do this. The Turing Machine from Skylights. We have the Turing Machine. Let me just open it. From Stellare Modular. This one and this one. Hi, Pennsylvania. Hello, Venezuela. Nicolas. Hi. So, the Turing Machine from Stellare Modular comes with 2 expanders. Say something about the wine? Well, you know, Maurice, it's a white wine from the year 1997. It was a good year for the grapes. It was a very nice weather in this year. And you know, let me just a second. Very nice, very good. No, this was a joke. Never mind. Good evening, everyone. It was maybe a bad joke. Let me go back. Go back to the Turing Machine. So this Turing Machine with Stellare Modular comes with 2 expanders. We have pulses on the left side and volts on the right side. And the one from Skylights, this is the Turing Machine from Skylights. As you can see, it comes with no expansions. Hello, everyone. But we have Turing. We have all of the expansions in a different modules. We have 3 expansions all in all, and they connect to one another and communicate with one another, which is amazing. I will leave the Turing Machine from Stellare Modular here for a second because I want to show you a bit the differences between the Turing Machine of Skylights and Stellare Modular. I'm drinking beer. Cheers. Cheers. So what we have here, again, the Turing Machine, if you don't know it, it's a great source. First of all, it's great to play live with because it's really fun to play with the sequence, and I will show you this in a second. And it's a great source of random voltage or random signal for notes, for example, modulation with the expanders for triggers or gates. And we have the big middle, or the big knob in the middle, in the center of the module. Hi, Eugene. And when it's in the center position like this, and you can see the one from Stellare Modular is by default in the center. The beats, the 8 beats that we will see. Let me already connect the clock. Let's see. I need BPM, guys. We are again adding. Nice of you to join us. Thank you for being here, everyone. I need 2 beats per minute, and we can start with the clock. 131, 127. Those are close. Maybe something different than 127. 182. Okay, so again, with the ring or without the ring. Let's do something like this. Brrp. Ring. Here's the ring. Let's see. No ring. No one. Do 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 do. 131. So let's go with 131, and I will send this already to the clock. Let's multiply it already by 2 also, just so we have a nice rhythm. So we have the clock input here. We will just connect to the clock, and now you can see that the beats are starting to be generated, are starting to change here. Beats. So 1 means on, 0 means off, and they are added to one another. And what we get if we take out the scope, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Turing machine, but let's anyway make this, let's look at it in the scope, because there is something special here. From the output we will get the random stepped, this is important, this is a stepped voltage, and you can see it here. I will zoom in, I always so zoomed out here. Now you can see it better, I hope. 663, Petman, hi! So many cool guys, very cool. Okay, so we see we have stepped random voltage. We can change its scale by changing with the scale knob here, and this will be 0 to positive 10 volts. And we can see here we have a switch. Hi Portland, Martin, hi Martin. Martin, the developer of the ML modules, is here with us. Give him some respect. Hello Martin. So we have here a switch of unipolar and bipolar, so we can have a unipolar signal. And now when I switch it to bipolar, you see we have a bipolar signal, so it goes also to negative voltage. Very cool. And if we decrease the scale, now here is something. What was this? Here is something interesting happening. Or maybe my phone. Something interesting has happened here. Yeah, I've decreased the scale, and you can see that the voltage is not going anymore above 0 volts, which is a shame, but this we can easily fix with, for example, the attenuverter. We just send the signal first to the attenuverter, open it all the way up, and then with the offset we can offset the voltage to somewhere where we want it to be. I'm not so sure, maybe it's a bug, maybe it's not a bug, maybe it's meant to be like this, but it's easily fixed. Let's add a voice already so we can see how it sounds like. I will get rid of the expanders for now, we will come back to them later. And if you see on the original, it's not the original, but the one from Stellare Modular, so it has a few different features, but it doesn't have the bipolar unipolar switch, which I think is interesting, especially for pitch, so the pitch is also going down. Let's see, let's start. Let's add a voice. Let's add a voice. Which voice shall we use? I will use the wave oscillator from Blamsoft because I really like it. There's a wave I really like, but let's select a wave. You have a certain wavetable you will want me to use. Let's say modern, maybe phase distortion, Viking. Let me know. I will have a sip of the wine. Viking, yeah, I also thought about Viking. Viking, so this is the wavetable. Very cool. Let's have a listen already how it sounds like. Now I know, by the way, that we have here a stereo channel. The last live stream, it didn't went so well. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear this loud and clear. Ooh. Very cool. Okay, let's raise the density so there are more waves. Spread all the way up, maybe a bit less detune. 7 C's wavetable. By the way, Snoopy over the hills, did you try this with maths? Maths, I call it, with maths. What we spoke about with the rampage. Okay, I need some reverb already. Nice. Okay, and let's send this first to a quantizer. Martin is here, Martin Luder, so let's use quantum from ML. This is from the Viking synth. This is interesting. Very cool. Modular Gem Zurich. Nice. Okay, so we will send this first to the quantizer. This voltage from the quantizer, not to the scope. We will send it to the volt per octave input of the oscillator. Let's set a scale D, F, and A. Let's send this also to the scope so we can see what's going on. So you see we have random pitch, Turing Machine, style, bipolar, so it's adding also negative voltage. And keep this in mind, it will always add voltage. If it's negative or positive, it will always go from the base pitch of the oscillator and it will add voltage. If it adds negative voltage, of course the pitch will go down, but it will always add voltage. Hi. Oh yeah, this is crunchy. I like this, the Viking. Okay, so now if we turn the... Can you increase the opacity of the cables? Yes. Oh, sorry. It's opacity 0. Sorry, it will be on 70, around 70. I think it's okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so the lock, we have alpha and beta here. The lock knob, we lock the sequence to the right. It will lock the sequence this is nice. To the left, it will lock the sequence double time, so it will the sequence will run one time normal, and then if I'm not mistaken, another time flipped. So what was on will be off, and the other way around. I'm speaking about the beats here. Now there's another interesting thing here, that at the first when I saw it I was a bit, I'm not so sure, not annoyed, but a bit confused why I cannot see the length of the sequence. If you see on the Stellar Modular module, which is beautiful also by the way, it's really nice designed, according to the original of course. We have the length number, so how long is the sequence? 5 steps, 6 steps, state, Azure. Wow, nice of you to join us. Thank you very much. Guys, if you don't know State Azure, go check his channel out. Amazing music. Wow, I'm honored. Thank you. I now need another sip of the wine to relax a bit. Nice. So if you see here we have the sequence length, and in the Skylights version we cannot see the numbers, but like as I said at first I was a bit confused, but it adds to this feeling of the random, this random feeling, let's say. So you don't really know the length of the sequence. You're playing with it, you're going with the flow, let's say. It's interesting, it's an interesting feature. And I'm sure that it was not by mistake. I'm sure that it just didn't forget it. I'm sure he had some idea behind it. So we can change the length of the sequence. Now what I like doing always to add movement to the sound, let's modulate with the pitch information, let's modulate the position of the wavetable. So I will take it out of the, I don't want it to be quantized, not necessarily, it's not so important to me, so I can take it out of the attenuverter. Which means again, higher notes, more modulation, lower notes, less modulation. Of course, we can invert it also. We have an attenuverter here, so we can make higher notes less modulation, so the position will close. And we have this oscilloscope here, I also really enjoy it. Let me know if the music is loud enough and you can hear my voice, or the other way around. So again, now the sequence is locked twice. One time the sequence will play normal, and another time it will play flipped. The beats that were on will be off, and the other way around. Nice, excellent. Again, we can change the scale, so the range. Oh, yes. Another thing to remember with this module, and this is amazing, and first of all, if you lock a sequence, and you close the patch and you open it up again, the sequence will stay. You will have the same sequence as you saved the patch, which is beautiful. And more even, if you save it as a preset, save preset, you can save your sequences as presets, because the sequence will be saved in this file, which is also amazing. I think it's really nice feature, because sometimes you have those special sequences that you don't want to close. This VCV rec is left open for days just because of this sequence in the Turing machine. Yeah. So this is a really nice feature. We have here also the write switch. We have this also in the Stellare Modular version. Here we can write 0, so off, the bits will go off, or 1, the bits will go on. Here we can only write off. Yeah, this is a true story. We can only turn off the bits. So if I switch the switch, this is nice for finishing a track, a composition like this. Let's unlock the sequence. Let's lock a new sequence. Something shorter maybe. Hi Joel. This is cool. Okay, what else can we do here? What else do we have? We have, you know what? No, let's do this. We have pulses and gates, 2 outputs. So since you can record CV sequences using on. Yeah, Eugene, I have also a video about recording it with a phrase sequencer, for example. You can also record it with a big button sequencer. You can also record it with a sampler. But still, it's nice that you have presets of the sequences that you like. I wonder what names they will get. The best sequence. Yeah, it's a nice version. I also like the Stellare Modular one. It has also different features, which is nice to have this choice what you want to use. So what we have here, we have pulses and gates. So you can see this stripe here on the last bit. Whenever there is a bit on there is a 1, let's say, there will come a gate out of the gate output. Let me send this to the scope. And the interesting thing about it, that if there are 2 bits, one after the other, or 3 or 4, coming into this section, the gate will stay longer high. So you see there are some gates that are short and some gates that are longer, which means that as long as this bit here is high, the gate will stay open. When it's off, the gate will close. And we have also pulses, which means, let me also connect this here. And the pulses will work a bit differently again, as long as so when one bit here in this position is high or on, there will come a pulse out of the pulse output, but it will be a pulse. It will be very short. It will close directly, and when there is another bit on this step, another pulse will rise. So we have, you see here we have a long gate, but we have 3 pulses. So we can use this to trigger other stuff. We can use it to trigger drums, for example, that are using triggers usually, or pulses, which is interesting. Now I want to modulate this oscillator a bit more. Let's choose phase distortion under the modulation here, which has a really cool sound to it. I love phase distortion. Let's send the same voltage, but invert it. So I will open it to the middle, let's say somewhere here, and invert the voltage with the attenuator. So higher notes, it will close. Something like this. The only downside on LN is, in my opinion, that there isn't move or reset. It can make you crazy if you can't get your notes in order you want. Yeah, that's true. There is no reset here, that's a shame. That's true, there is no reset. Now this attenuator of the position can act a bit like a low-pass filter. This is the same effect a bit. Make the sound brighter or darker. We see what we can do. This we can also modulate later. Okay, so this was the pulses and gates. Let's use this actually to do something cool. Let's use another quantum. And what we will do, let's set the scale, let's say D, okay, F, okay, A, okay, let's add B flat, let's add C also. So it's a sort of a D minor scale, let's say. And let's use this quantum to modulate this quantum whenever there's a pulse coming out of the Turing machine. So let's send the pulse to the toggle input, which will toggle, you can see it's already working, which will toggle the notes on and off, but this I will do, this I will do here in this quantum. And now we can send something to the note input, and we will use, let's use the first expansion. I couldn't find one. Yeah, maybe I missed this, but I thought that scale knob was something like a quantizer. No, the scale knob will set the scale of the random voltage. So how the range, let's say, of the random voltage, the maximum range is 0 to positive 10 volts when it's unipolar. So if you lower the scale, it will not go up to 10 volts, it will go, let's say, to 5 or 3, and don't forget that each volt is an octave. So if you have 2 volts, you have 2 octaves. If you use it for pitch, I think 2 or 3 octaves are enough. If you have 10 octaves, if you want, of course, you can use it. But usually you will use 2 to 3 octaves, so 2 to 3 volts. Yeah. Okay, so what we will do again, the pulses will toggle the notes on and off on the first quantum. You can see it's already happening on the note C, or in this case it's the note C. Now what we need to tell quantum to choose different notes, and this we will do with the first expansion of the Turing machine, which is called volts actually. And this is also different than the one from the Stellare Modular. So the Stellare Modular version, you have for each knob you have 0 to positive 2 volts, and whenever a bit is on the first 5 steps, so this will be step 1, step 2, step 3, it will send the voltage of the respective knob. So if here I have 1 volt and I have only this bit in the first step open, so there will come out of the output 1 volt. If I have the first 2 and I have here set to 1 and here set to maximum, which is 2, I will come the voltage that will come out of the output will be 3 volts, so it will be added together and we have all in all 5 knobs with up to 2 volts, so we have all in all 10 volts. Or I think actually it's 2 volts. Never mind, but here it's working different. So here in this expander of volts we have attenuators, which is cool because you can also invert the signal and it will work the same. So we have 5 knobs which correspond to the first 5 beats of the Turing machine. When the first beat is on, there will come the first knob will decide how much voltage will go through. If the 2 first beats are on, the 2 first knobs, if just the third beat is on, just the third knob will let voltage go through it. And how we send the expansion, how we connect the modules, we have the expansion output which goes to the expansion input on the respective module. Let me just turn the heater here a bit off. It's so hot. Very nice. Okay. Very nice. And now when I start turning the attenuators, you can see something is happening here. And again, the first knob is corresponding to the first beat of the Turing machine. So let's do something like this. It's the wine, yeah, probably. Okay, and now this voltage coming out of here, we can see this also on the scope. So we have another, it's the hood, yeah, the hood, it keeps me in the zone, Joel. I love the hood. I feel focused. We will use this voltage through another quantum. So first it will go to the second quantum, and the second quantum will say, okay, the notes that are allowed to pass through are C, D, F, A, and B flat. That's it, no other note. And this will go to the note input of the first quantum, and look what happens. You see this? This is nice. So what happens is, because the sequence is locked, it's repeating itself, and it's a beautiful sequence, I have to say. And we are modulating quantum. We are modulating quantum with another quantum by using volts, the expansion, the first expansion. Yeah, quantum is amazing. Martin, thank you for quantum. For giving us the gift of quantum. And if you guys don't know quantum multiverse, then you should, because it's even better. It's 8 quantums in one module. Let me show you this. I will make some advertisement. If you guys don't know quantum multiverse, it's also from ML. And you have 8 different channels, and you can spread the voltage, you can save. Here you have the memory section, you can save scales and trigger them in and out. Amazing, maybe we'll use this once. Let me know if you want a live stream about quantum multiverse, I will be happy to do so. Okay, so now we have this sequence running. What I want to do, I think this voice is a bit too bright for me, so we have the second modulation we can choose. I think there is low pass filter, yeah. and this we will also modulate. And again we will close it, higher voltage, will so open the filter, let's say, or close the modulation. Let's go directly from the Turing Machine. Yes. So now what happens? Actually, I think I will send it first through the second attenuator because I want it to be a bit brighter. So I can push it with the offset. Yes, this is what I want. Let me just save this patch already. Okay, so now we have two sequences running. One is modulating pitch, one is modulating the quantizer, but we can also somehow combine both of them and create a new sequence. So let's use kinks. I do this also a lot lately. If you watch my videos, I hope you are not getting bored from this, but I think repetition is good also for me. So now what I will do, I will use, so you vote yes for the quantum multiverse, that's perfect. Because it's a really deep and nice module, a lot to do, a lot to explore. We will do this once, for sure. Cheers, Martin. So what we will do now, we will use the logic section of kinks, and you guys out there, I know already at least two that have UREC at home or the studio. If you have kinks, try this. It's an amazing I don't know, should I call it trick? It's not really a trick, it's something nice that you can do with kinks. So we have the logic section. Yeah, we have two inputs and we have two outputs. We have minimum and maximum, so we will send both signals, one from the Turing Machine and one from the expander, from volts. And now we will get the minimum values. Let me use the scope. We will get the minimum values from the minimum output and the maximum values from the maximum output. And what we get actually, are two more sequences, or two more signals, let's say, that we can use for, we can add two more oscillators, for example. So what we will do this. This quantum has to do something to do with this quantum here, so they will be together. Also volts actually can also be here up. And what we'll do now, let's add two FM operators, FM op, and we will use two more quantums that we will also modulate. So let's use this quantum and let's again modulate. Let's do this. Let's take the note out of the modulated quantum, and the toggle will come again out of the trigger of the modulated quantum. So again we have some modulation. And now the second quantum, because we will use two FM operators. Oh, you couldn't get a phrase sequencer to record the Turing Machine. Maybe I will show this in a later stage in this video, so stick around. Now the second quantum for the second FM operator that we have here will be modulated by the first quantum. So again, the note will come from the output of quantum, the toggle from the trigger of quantum. So now we have even more modulation here going, which is nice. Maximum will go to one quantum, minimum to the other one. From there to both FM operators. Let's turn on also the level envelopes, turn off the sustain. Let's take the attack all the way down, but not really, because I want to avoid those clicks, because this is a snappy, really snappy envelope. And let's see how this sounds like. Let's take the first FM operator to the mixer. Oh, what I didn't do is send a gate, because I have the level envelope on. So the FM operator is expecting a gate, so we can use the gate outputs of the respective quantums. Listen to this. Reverb, of course. And let's send also a gate from the second quantum to the second FM operator, and from there again. Shall we go full stereo? Let's go full stereo. No, not full stereo, because this is a bass. Oh baby, this is nice. Wow, listen to this. I hope you have good headphones or speakers. Can you hear this? Maybe I can turn the feedback amount a bit more. Boom, 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 boom. Sounds like a double bass. That's really low, but it's nice. Martin, thank you for joining. Thank you for the lovely modules also. Have a good one. Vim, I know you have kinks in your system. Do this, it's amazing. Now you just need a couple of quantizers. Vim, can you send, by the way, a signal to VCV rack, quantize it, and then out again? Is it possible with your setup? This is interesting to do something like this. Try it. I mean, I guess if you don't have a DC coupled interface, it will filter this signal out because it's really low, but try it anyway. Yeah, cool. Quantizer with 4 voices, nice. The so-called third tone. Which third tone? Yeah, I thought going live also about alright devices stuff, checking them out, a delay and sample rate reduction, I think reduction. Well, Kinks is receiving both signals from the Turing machine and from the expander, from volts, and it's making a logic function, it's creating a logic function or processing a logic function, and once it will output the minimum signal, the minimum voltages, and once the maximum, and it's creating 2 more sequences. One is low, as you can hear the bass, one is high. Now another thing we can do, which is cool, which I love doing with Kinks or with any sample and hold actually, is sample the voltage coming out of one of the quantizer. Just a second. Third tone is the sound you hear when 2 tones play. It's imaginary, but the sum and difference of the original tones. An undertone. You mean like a subharmonic or something like this? Undertone. Teach me. Tell me what this is so I can learn something. So what else I love to do with the sample and hold, and this we have Kinks here, which is an amazing module, is to sample you mean you hear the undertone, not the overtone, not the the overtone? No, this Turing machine is doing nothing. I just wanted here to have it here to compare a bit the two, because both of them are Turing machines, and we've already seen a few differences, like the write function, like the numbers of the sequence length, like the bipolar unipolar switch, for example, like the gate and pulses outputs. Can be. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, this is doing nothing because I just want to look at the differences between them. But let's now sample. Let's say, for example, I will sample the first quantum which is not being modulated with a sample and hold, but I will trigger it with a slower clock. So let's say a clock divided by 5. Let's say, and let's send this to another oscillator. Let's use 21 kilohertz because it has 2 rows. Each row is an octave apart from the other one, so this row will be an octave higher than the lower row. And we will send this signal from the sample and hold to the oscillator. And let's use 2 channels. First of all, I will want a filter. I will use tangents from Volt. I will send a sawtooth wave to the low pass input of tangents and to the output. The output will go to the mixer. This is what we will get. I need some reverb here. Also here a bit. Then we will have another channel, and let's try a sine wave and see how it sounds like. Let's solo this. No, I think I will use another. Oh, this is low. I will use another filter. Let's use let's use Lateralus, also Volt, and we will send a square wave to the input, and let's take 12 dB or 18 dB. What do you say? 2-pole or 3-pole? I'm out of wine. I will go with 2-pole, I think, so 12 dB. What do you think? Let me just bring the music back in. 4-pole. Okay, 24. Let's do this. It was a sweet white wine. What I like about this leather filter is the resonance. It loses a bit of the lower frequencies, which is cool. Can I come to class? I would learn so much. Listen, this will be a dream to sit down with actual people. I mean, you are also actual people, but I'm speaking with the camera. You know, I'm alone here in the room, and to to build some patches together. It will be amazing. If you're ever in Germany, around Frankfurt, give me a call. I will love to meet. Hi, Xavier. Okay, so let's modulate the filters. Let's use the 8FO from Bog Audio. I will turn it to slow, offset all the way up because I want a unipolar signal. Don't ask me why, this is what I want now. Because I want to modulate the feedback amount of the FM operators, which receive only positive voltage. And let's start modulating some stuff. I love the 8FO because it's the same modulation source, but in different phases. Let's turn this also to a triangle wave. And let's see, let's modulate the feedback amounts of the FM operator, so we have some movement going on. And also the cutoff points of the filters. Have still the gate output here not used. I did not gargle. Snoopy over the hills, are you coming to Superbooth? Are you going to Superbooth? Or any of you guys, are you going to Superbooth in 3 weeks from now? Let's see, I want to do something with this gate output. What I will do is something like this. Let's use another palm loop oscillator. I will tune it, so now it's tuned to C. I will tune it to D, so 2 semitones above, C, C sharp, D. No, you know what, maybe something... Oh, yeah, now I remember, Snoopy over the hills. Now I remember, congratulations by the way. Maybe next time. Frond, I will meet you, please. Please, let's meet. I would love to meet you guys. So what I have now, I have D, but I want D or I want A. Let me think. I think I will go with A, which is the 5th about D. No, let's go with D. And what I will do now, I will add a VCA. I will use the one from the fundamental modules. And an ADSR. I will use a nice... I would use Rampage, but then this patch will go crazy with Rampage also. You know, let's use Rampage. I have an idea already of something. Where is it? Rampage. No, you know, maybe not Rampage. Or maybe I can... Let's see how it is with Rampage. RS Moose 7. Nice, let's meet. So should the 8FO to be the best way to have real control of modulation? I've used it a lot, but now I prefer the LLFO. It allows you to fine-tune the frequency of each of them. You mean... Oh, okay, that's interesting. What I like about the 8FO that it's like waves, you know, you have one going up, the second one a bit with it, and this is going down, then it's like 8 different waves interacting with one another. But you're right, I mean also a few LLFOs, so the small Bog Audio LFOs, these ones, the compact LFO, if you have a few of them, I mean I think 8 of them, let's see, if 8 of them will be more will take more HP, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. But anyway, you can have as many of you want as you want, and just set each one of them to a different. Ooh, what is this? Classic pitch mode and standard pitch mode. Nice. Bog audio is amazing. But for now, let's use the 8FO and Rampage. So what I wanted to do, so the output A of Rampage will modulate the VCA. Let's send. I will not use the palm loop oscillator. No, I will use something different. I will use. Let's use a simple sine wave. So I will use the functional VCO. The functional VCO from Squinky Labs. Volt t-shirts, yeah, that will be great. And I will send it through a wave shaper. So let's use the one, actually I didn't use it for a while now. Let's see how it is. The one from Lindenberg Research is called West Coast, which is a wave shaper. How surprisingly. Let's send a sine wave. Where is our scope? I want to see this also in the scope. It's away. Scope. We will start soon another patch with the other expansions also. I just want to do this thing here. You spelled synth wrong. A synth lord. Ah, you guys are crazy. Let's send this to the scope, and let's trigger Rampage with the gate. I know triggers receives also triggers. Rampage receives also triggers nicely, but I have a gate here and I want to do something with it. So let's see how this will be. Let's send a nice fall time. And let's see, let's send this already to the mixer also so we can listen to it also while we watch it. Hopalach. Hopalach. Hopalach, 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 hopalach. Let's see. Let's solve this. Okay, I need some more release time. Okay, what I was thinking of doing is actually dividing this gate. So let's use a clock divider. If I can find one, I will maybe write divider. Let's use the one from SynthKit, clock divider. And let's divide this clock. It's not a clock, it's a gate, but let's divide it by 3, let's say. I don't know. It will not really divide it because it's not a normal clock, but it will be interesting. So now we need some more fall time. Now I need to, okay, let's do this. Hot tuna from Nhisti to tune the oscillator. I will want to tune it to D. And by the way, I recommend, I said it also in the last video, I recommend tuning your oscillators. It adds lots of feel to the sound, because the oscillators in VCV Rack, you load them up, they are tuned to C, and that's it, perfect C. If you tune them, even if you want to use the note C, just tune them with the tuner, if you can by ear. I cannot, but if you can, it will add a lot of feel to the sound. Have you tried the module browser by Submarine, especially module? Awesome stuff, by the way. I love falling down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it's an amazing module. One thing I don't like about it, or two things, I cannot scroll with the mouse, which I love doing in the manager. I just go like this and like this, down and up, or up and down with the mouse. And another thing, I always have to look for it in the patch. If I have a big patch, I have to remember where it is, especially when you can minimize it, and then it's harder to find. I don't use it so much, but it's a nice module. Now let's saturate the sound. Again, let's add now a bit reverb and also some delay. Okay, quarter doesn't do anything. This is good. Okay. Let's listen to this with all the more reverb. Let's take it up also an octave. So what we can do, we can again tune it, or we can use also, let's use also ref tone. You know what, I will show you this module. Ref tone, again Bog Audio, it will send voltage to the volt per octave input of your oscillator and will tune it. So I want D, this will stay at D, but I want to change the octaves. Whoa. Nice. Let's modulate the gain. Let's modulate the gain with the second rampage. I will cycle it, so we have a sort of an LFO. Raise the rise, so we have a slower LFO, and send this to modulate the gain. And no, I will not cycle it. What I will do, it will receive the same trigger that the first envelope is receiving. Let's see. What's the difference between tuning with the pre-calculated voltage and tuning with a tuner? With a tuner, you will never. With a tuner, it was like a French accent all of a sudden. With a tuner, you will never. Or let's say never. You will hit the pitch exactly. So it will never be tuned to C, because you are not a machine. So it will always be a few cents here or there, and if you have another one that's tuned to C and you tune them both with a tuner, they will not be exactly the same, and there will be this beating effect, cancelling and amplifying one another's frequencies. And again, it will never be the same. It will never be exactly the pitch. Unlike a machine, when C is C, especially in VCV rack, I mean, if you are looking at hardware modules or synthesizers, also there is drift and all the analog stuff that are adding some feel to the sound. Yeah, like humanizing it, exactly. But you are doing it manually. A couple of semitones fade with the last one would be nice. I don't understand, what do you mean, a couple of semitones fade? Let me know. Small divider mode, using the one I've solved in Nhisti clock input, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't do it usually in my live streams or the video I record because it just takes so long, but but lately I really enjoy not even looking at the pitch, just closing my eyes, listening to the pitch where I like it, I leave it there, and then I tune all the different oscillators to it, if I want them to be tuned the same. Because it adds this human feel, like you said, humanizing it adds this organic feel to the sound. Instead of using a tuner or just going with the tune or with the pitch of the oscillators and VCV rack, which are always C. That's it. What do you mean humanize the ADSRs a bit more? What do you think about this patch? Shall we start a new one, by the way? It's already an hour that we are building this patch, which is nice, but still. But I wanted to do something with the other side of Rampage. Let's see if I can do this, and then we will see what's going on. Okay, let's add another VCA, because I want to control the range of what I want to do. And actually the better will be the dual attenuator, because maybe I will want to invert the signal also. And what I want to do, I want this envelope, this function to modulate the pitch, to create a sort of a tremolo effect, I think. Not vibrato, I think it will be tremolo. Shall I create vibrato or tremolo? I think tremolo, so volume, modulating the volume, not modulating the pitch. Vibrato will be modulating the pitch, tremolo will be modulating the amplitude or the volume. I want to do something like this. No, I want to do something else. I want to add here another VC. No, let me think. This will not work so well. Let's try this anyway. Another VCA. What can happen? Worst case scenario, it will not work. I will send this signal through another VCA, and this VCA will be modulated by the same envelope A. No, what I want, I forgot what I want to do now. Let's see, let's send B to the VCA first. Okay, so it will be not tremolo, it will be vibrato. Let's add a mixer. I will use Unity or Umix from Bog Audio, for example, which is a Unity mixer. And I will mix what's coming out of ref tone. This will go to the output. But I tuned this oscillator already. Because I wanted another octave, yeah. And what I want else is I want what's coming out of this VCA. So because it's not a cycling envelope or an LFO, what I wanted to do is create a sort of I wanted tremolo actually, but because this voice is not always playing, it's a bit hard. And vibrato is also not really going, because this envelope, this function is not cycling, it's not oscillating. But still it's nice, just create a sort of a detune effect. If we listen just to this. You can hear that the pitch is going up. Yeah, I don't want to add another L4. I want to start a new patch actually. We can do it in a lot of different ways, but I want to start a new patch with the other expanders also. Just adding a bit more feel to the sound. We can do so many things with Rampage still. A creepy flute. Yeah, it's like something untuned, not so tuned. Let's see. Yeah, tremolo is volume and vibrato is pitch. Tides Mark II. Add in. I don't know, it's... we will see. Break down beats in piano roll to beyond 16 divisions per beat to emit the very last... Yeah, well, you have to make your sequencers as long as your shortest note. So if you have a 30-second note, so you need a 30-second notes sequence. Westcott modules, it's Lindenberg research. It also has a few different skins. You can make it a used look and make it aged. It's a nice module, a lot of different modes. Theremin style, yeah. They've done stuff with Theremin, New York, I don't know. Tides Mark II, very nice. Yeah, it will come in the future, I hope. Yeah, she made it, it's true. A few days ago, I think she released it as open source. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice patch, I think. I think we will continue to the second patch today. And we will check out, we have two more expanders. We have pulses and we have vectoral mixer. So let's start. I will save this patch. We are not finished again, we will start a new patch, but probably early tomorrow this video will be available on the channel, and also the patches will be in the description. So let's start a new patch. Oh, you know what the best thing I like about this? Well, in VCV it's not so much, but with the disco golf, yeah, Bill, have fun. Almanacs, have fun also. Have a good one. What I love the most is the moment when you are finished, you know, you have your patch, you have your recording or not, never mind, and you take the cables out. This is such a nice, you unpatch the patch. This is a nice feeling. Okay, let's start a new patch. Again, we have the Turing Machine that we looked at already. The Turing Machine. Let's create a nice sequence already. Let's see, let's clock it. I have the other BPM here that was Nature is Calling. Have a good one, Vim. 182 it was it? It was 182. Let's see, let's multiply this also by 2 already because it's nice and quick. Starlink scanner oscillator. Wow, last week I made a live stream about Starlink modules. My head was like this. So many things to explore, it's crazy. How do you name your files? Because I personally have more than 20 odd. If you could get some naming inspiration. How do I name my files? What do you mean, like name for tracks or compositions? Or what do you mean, how do I name them? Okay, let's add another oscillator. Let's do something simple. I will use quantum. Let's go with C minor, so C, E flat, G, B flat. Let's use what shall we use? I don't know, I have no idea. So many to choose from. Oh, you know what I didn't use for a while? I will use the, where is it? From the E series, the E340 cloud generator. Yeah, it's on VCV Snoopy Over the Hills. Yesterday, look at those. I will not use them now, although I can actually, but maybe I just want to make a dedicated live stream about them. Here they are. They look amazing. Yeah. Maybe I will use them later. We will see. Anyway, the cloud generator, how do I name my files? Save as function. Well, depends what it is. If I have a name for the track or for the composition, I name it. And usually there is number 1, 2, 3, 4, you know how it is. The last one, the very last one, I promise is the last one, and so on. If I have no name, then usually I find a name. But I don't do anything special, actually. Okay, so the output will go to quantum. From quantum, we will send this to the volt per octave. Let's use the saw out. Now we can spread, like a cloud, spread the signal. Let's go somewhere here. And we can use the density. We have 8 voices, 4 voices, or 2 voices. Let's leave it at 8. A bit more reverb. Let's lock a sequence. Let's add slap already, just so we have something nice and plucky. I don't know why, let's do this, but slap, VCA, envelope generator, sustain all the way down. The gate will come from quantum. Let's already add brains because I want to modulate brains for the geodesics collection. I want to modulate the decay time of the envelope. So let's use the same clock, the multiplied by 2. And let's send the sample and hold to the decay time. Open the attenuator just a bit. Bit louder, yeah, sure. Sorry. I hope it's okay like this. Yeah, there are so many modules that are also that I feel so bad that I don't use them. So let's use the cloud generator, the E340. Okay, so now we have a sequence from the Turing machine. We looked already at the volts expansion. Now let's look at the pulses expansion, or the pulse expander it's called here. Again, we connect it through the expander output from the Turing machine, which is, by the way, scope time, which is, by the way, something that we can use for other things as well. Let's turn the length here on. I think there are a few bugs here with this module. So if you see, it's a stepped signal that we can use for other things. And this is running the expansion. So this is connecting, both modules are communicating, but nevertheless, modular VCV rec, we can do whatever we want and we can use this signal if we want. Let's leave the scope here for now. I have the patch 2. So here, for example, now how I called it Skylights patch 2. That's it, that was the name, simple, easy to understand. Okay, now, what pulses will do? So you see the bits are running here on and off, 1 and 0. Whenever there is a bit on step number 1, there will come a gate out of pulse number 1. And as long as the bits are on the step, again, the gates will be longer. The same with 2, with pulse number 2 or gate number 2 in this case, and so on. And here we have a few more outputs with an AND logic. So when 1 and 2 bits 1 and 2 are on, we will have a gate out of the first output. When bits 3 and 4 are on, and so on. And here we have something interesting, 1 and 2, 4 and 7. So when 4 bits are on, then we will get a gate out of it, which is seldom, which is less frequent. So we can use this to trigger events. And what's interesting about this here, that we can use also triggers. So if there is a clock connected to the clock input, I will use the same clock, the gates become pulses. So we get more triggers, which is also interesting. So let's leave it as a triggers, and we will use this to trigger all sorts of stuff. Let me just raise the volume a bit more, it's a bit low. Okay, so now we have pulses. Let's see what we can trigger with it. I have sample and hold here. I can already create a hi-hat. For example, let's use spank. Again, volt, which is a drum envelope, which is much more snappy or snappier than slap. I will use noise. We have here, if there is nothing connected to the time input or to the clock input, we will have different colors of noise, different types of noise. I will use the white noise from this output here. Let me zoom in a bit. You see here it's white, blue, red and pink. So I will use the white noise to the input of the VCA. From there to the Mixer, let's turn on the volume a bit. Gate, the gate or the trigger will come out, let's say from number 1, post number 1. I turn the envelope to hard. The last one really final, exactly, Steve. Yeah, exactly. The last one, I promise it's the last one. Oh man, yes, this is the best. And so on, it's never ending. And again, let's modulate the decay time. A bit more delay maybe. Let's modulate the decay time with the sample and hold. Let's use blue noise. Ah, no. What do you want with the sample and hold? Sorry. Yeah, number 2, yeah. Okay, so here we have 7 different outputs and 4 more with the AND logic. Another difference from the Stellare Modular Turing Machine, that in Stellare Modular we can choose if the logic will be AND, so 1 and 2, or an OR logic, so 1 or 2 or both. This is another example of a difference between them. And let's see, let's do another thing. Let's create a kick, let's say, or something other percussive. I don't know. Let's see, what can we do? Let's use the Befaco. Where is it? The even VCO, for example. The even VCO, and it will modulate. I need something. Let's use 2 Befaco VCOs and then a VCA, so I can control the range. And again, let's use another spank. Okay, so we will use a sine wave from the first VCO, and the second VCO will modulate the frequency or the pitch of the even VCO. Now in the even VCO, the FM input is linear, and which means it's not like volt per octave, which is exponential. And also we don't have an attenuator or attenuator. That's why I have the the VCA, the voltage control attenuator. So let's use another sine wave. Take the VCA all the way down to the FM input. Let's send this already to the mixer. And now let's use, I want it to be less frequent, so I will use 1 and 2. Very nice, already it's nice and plucky. A bit frequency modulation. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's modulate again decay with sample and hold. Let's see a triangle wave, an even wave. It's not round enough. I like the sine wave. Don't look the chat. Don't lock the chat? Which chat? I didn't lock anything. Did something happen? Are you still with me? Let me know. Okay, so now we have the even VCO. Another percussive sound. And let's do something like this. Let's use now Entropia, a sequencer. I will use a 7-step sequence. I will change this also to the dark matter. You are still with me, very nice. And now I will use another output from the AND logic to run the sequencer. So we don't have just to trigger voices, we can trigger also a sequencer, which will be also nice. So this will go to the common clock. Oh, you know what we can do? We can send, let's say, number 3 to the common clock, and then the AND logic to the uncertain clock, the certain clock, and the uncertain clock, which will, you can see it will go randomly in the sequence, which is also nice. And let's use something, I don't know anymore. Let's use 21 kilohertz again. Shall I use the Meta oscillator from Starling? I don't know, it's hard to tame. Oh, you know what we can use? We can use the oscillator from Aura, but I don't think, it's not a free module. So let me know what you think. What is Oscar 2 oscillator? I don't know this oscillator. Oh, I know what! The Treasure oscillator from MSM, and you know why? Because in the right click menu you have the Omri's Treasure, which is a mushroom. Ta-da-da-da. 2 mushrooms even. Oh, the Cosmic oscillator is also a nice one, maybe later. But now let's use the mushroom one. Yeah, also the paid stuff, it's true. I want to ask you what you guys think about it. Okay, so the first sequence the blue one will stay fixed. Let's have a nice, let's change the energy to 1, so we have 1 octave. So I can go crazy here with the attenuators, attenuverters. The second, have a nice trip. The second sequence will be random, the yellow one. So let's see, let's say step 1. So now those are attenuverters attenuating a sampled signal from sample and hold. 1, let's say 4, and let's say 6. Change the probability also. If you don't know this sequencer, you should, because it's a really nice one. I will use the same quantum because it's set for us already. The signal will go to quantum, from quantum to the volt per octave input of the oscillator. And let's use another slap for this oscillator. Okay, and the gate again will come from quantum. Let's send the output to the VCA. Let's send this to the mixer. This is a bit harsh oscillator. Again, modulated decay, everything is moving, everything is changing, I like this. Let's modulate this a bit. Again, sample and hold will modulate the size. Very nice. Now this oscillator can also be an LFO, which is interesting because if you look on the scope, if I have the scope somewhere, no, you can see the shape of this oscillator, which is nice. Look at it. So this can also be your LFO, modulating all sorts of stuff. That's a good idea actually, I think. I'll nick that. Thanks, minor mostly. I don't know, I could swear I have a song called Bob. No, I think naming something that you can remember is always a good idea, not random stuff. There was a time I used to call everything the same and I couldn't find anything. It was a long time ago. Oh yeah, also all of the modulations. Let's modulate mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Movement is life. I need some delay on this. Oh yeah. Very cool. Okay, let's move on to the next expander. Or shall we create another percussive sound? Let's use but this is never on actually because we lock the sequence. Let me see. No, let's use another percussive sound. Let's use 2 FM operators. Okay, let's do another FM voice. Again we'll use spank. This time for spank we will use the 4 and 7. Okay, let's send the output of the first FM operator to the FM input of the second FM operator. Let's send the second one to the input of spank. Now the FM operators have also, I will explain in a second what the depth is doing, as also a built-in envelope, but we cannot modulate the decay time, which I want to do in spank, so this is why I'm using spank. So the depth knob will control the depth amount, the FM amount, the FM depth. So now we have something connected to the frequency modulation, which is in this oscillator is linear through 0, which is the best, I think, for creating more musical. I hate this word, but that's what there is. Musical sounds. Let's tune this oscillator also to E flat, I think. I don't know. Let's see. Hotuna. Where is Hotuna? Let's see E flat. What happens? E flat. Let's go up one. Let's turn off the depth amount. Just a second. Like this. Very cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bit more feedback. Something like this. We can also use the spank to modulate the feedback amount of the oscillator, just to add some more percussiveness to the sound. We can also modulate the frequency of the modulator with the even VCO. Why not? Because we can. Delay. Ooh, yeah. Dr. Gonzo. Is it Gonzo or Gonzo? Nice. Oh, it's nice rhythm. Let's again modulate the decay time. Lots of delay, lots of reverb. Sounds like something cosmic. Okay, now let's have a look at the last expander, Turing Machine. We have the Vectral Mix expander, which is really interesting. So we have 4 inputs and 2 outputs, so it's a stereo expander, stereo module, and it will send the signal or from the left or from the right according to the main Turing machine. And we have attenuverters also here, so we can change also the probability or the tuning, the panning. So let's see, let's send Let's use the cosmic oscillator now because we spoke about it before. I will use a VCA this time from AS and an ADSR module from AS. ADSR module because in this module, just like in the fundamental module, the fundamental ADSR, we can modulate the decay time. Let's see, oscillator 1 will go to the first input, oscillator 2 will go to the second input. The ADSR will modulate the VCA. Let's send this already to the mixer. Now we know we have stereo channels. Okay, let's change the waves here, turn this all the way down, activate the second oscillator, detune them a bit from one another by a few cents. And why did I send this to the oscillator? This is not what I wanted. I want to send this, not to the oscillator, to the mixer. I want to send this first to the vectoral mixer. And this will go to the oscillator, to the stereo channel of the oscillator. And now it will go once to from the left, once from the right. Let's trigger this ADSR from the fourth output of pulses. Solo this. So we have a nice stereo effect. Let's modulate the decay. No, this is too much. We need an attenuator. Let's add a VCA to attenuate this sample and hold a bit. So if you are on headphones or good speakers, you can hear this panning effect. Let's use also for this sample and hold to modulate the phase distortion. Let's use a different wave, something more you cannot hear this effect, this panning effect. Let's add some reverb also. Took it down an octave. Now what more we can do? Yeah, it's nice, it's a nice effect. What more we can do? We can add two more voices here. So let's duplicate the cosmic oscillator and duplicate the VCA and the ADSR. So we have two more voices. I will make the same connections like we did before, but I will take the oscillators way up in octaves. And I will trigger them also with a different pulse. And actually there is something that I did here that is not so smart, but maybe it is. First of all, octaves up. So listen to this. We have now, in a one stereo channel, we have four different voices panning left and right. And all of this is according to the main Turing machine. This we shall not forget. The Turing machine, we change the sequence, everything changes. We lock the sequence, it's locked. And what we can do, we can take one of those voices also 7 semitones up, so a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Richard! Hey, thank you for coming, for joining us from Australia. Wow, it's so early in the morning. Thank you, Richard. But we are finished. Nah, it's a joke. Thanks for joining, man. Okay, so we have this panning effect. And there's another thing that I wanted to check, to try. This sounds nice, actually. I want to try to send pitch information through the vectoral mixer. So the pitch will go once left, once right. So once left, one to one module, and then to a different module. One sequence will go to two different modules, or actually 4 different sequences. This is crazy. We can use 4 different sequences and combine them and say, I didn't try this, let's try this now. I will add another vectoral mixer. And this is another cool thing you can do. You can add more than just one expansion. I mean, you can use as many pulses, as many volts, as many vectoral as you want. You just have to connect them to the expansion output. And you see we have another one. Now let's use, I think I saw once a sequencer which has 2, so it's a small one, I think it was for dBs, the 4 sec, yeah. So it's a small sequencer, but it has 2 times 4. So let's first of all do something like this. Let's send 2 different clocks. The clocks will come again from the pulses. So you see now we have 2 different sequences, 2 different 4-step sequences. Let's change the values here a bit. And we will send both sequences to the inputs of the vectoral. Let's see, I don't see anything coming out of it, and this is not. Maybe I have to, I have to activate the steps, sorry. Okay, now. So we have 2 different sequences. No, those are free available modules. There is a link already in the description to how you can get these modules. So you see we have 2 different sequences. You can see this here. You can see that they are different. Now let's add another scope, and I want to see what's coming out from here. This I want to see. Okay, so first of all, because of the anti-click, there is an anti-click function in the vectoral mixer, so you don't get those clicks when the signal is going left or right. So there is actually slew limiting, sort of slew limiting. You see the voltage is no longer stepped. There is a bit of a slew, a bit of a glide, which we can use, and we will. And this is interesting. Let's turn on. Yes, look at this. Look at this signal. This is good for modulation, first of all. But let's use this for pitch. Let's see what happens when we throw it into a quantizer, because the pitch will glide and the notes will just go like this. So let's see, let's get rid of the scope and let's add another quantum. This time I will enter the full C minor scale, so C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. And I need 2 actually, because I have 2 outputs here. So one we go to the first quantum, then to the second one. Now let's use Slick, which is also from animated circuits. I will use 2 slicks, then the phase modulation, phase distortion all the way down. Vector is an expansion for the Turing Machine. Yeah, exactly. The 2x4 sequencer was from dBs, I think it's called. dBs. It's called the 4 sec. And it looks like something from Doppler actually. That's how it looks like. I don't know if it exists already also in the Eurorack. So let's see. Quantum to the volt per octave, quantum to the volt per octave of the both oscillators. Let's send this to the mixer. I'm curious to see or to hear how this will sound like. because of those glides. We will have those glides, but they will be quantized, which is nice, I think. I don't know. Let's see. Solo this. You ready? Let's take out a few notes from the quantizer. Let's take D out from here and A flat from here, and let's take G out of here and D and E flat from here. Nice. This is not bad. Let's see how it is with some reverb. Lots of reverb, a lot of reverb. Yes, 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 yes. This is amazing, guys. This was nice. This is a nice result. Yes. Okay. So first of all, the patches will be in patch storage. Yeah. You can never have enough plateau. Yeah, it gets totally trippy. I tell you, it's the mushroom. It's those mushrooms. What I want to do now is modulate the phase distortion here with two different LFOs. And actually I will use 3 because I'm off. No, 3 is enough. No, 4. Let's use 4. And 2 VCAs because I will want to modulate the strength of the phase distortion modulation. So let's do something like this. First of all, I will send 2 LFOs to the VCAs. I will turn them to, where is it, slow. And I will push the offset all the way up because again I want a unipolar signal. Let's turn the frequency a bit down. And they will modulate the phase distortion of the oscillators. Let's again solo this. It sounds so nice. I don't know, it sounds like something out of space. And now we can open the attenuators. Okay, I want this to be faster modulation. And I will use 2 more VCAs. You can never have enough VCAs also. And now I will modulate the VCA. So now what I will do, I will control the amount of modulation with 2 more LFOs. Let me just see that they are slow. And the offset is also all the way up. And now I can set the something like this here. And again. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to modulate, cross-modulate Joel, have a good one. Thank you for joining. I don't know why I don't use the VCA2 actually. I do know why, because I want this visual confirmation of what I'm doing. I like this, I like to see what's going on. So I like this VCA. Yeah, Richard, the beginning was also nice. The first patch was also nice. So what I want now is to cross-modulate the LFOs, but through another more attenuators. let's take this all the way down, and I will modulate the pitch of the LFOs. Let's see this. And I will have 2 more VCAs, and I will modulate their pitch or their frequency also. So I will use the other LFOs that are, so they will modulate, cross-modulate one another. Let me just close this. And let's see. Let's listen to this in context. Ooh. Massive Sound Canada, thank you for joining. Thank you. I mean you. This is the mic, this is the camera. Thank you. Nice. Ha ha ha. It's a shame that it cannot be modulated, this function, changing the waveform. Reminds me of Spongel a bit. Do you know Spongel? How much time per week do you spend a day messing with VCV Rec? When I'm not working in my job, I can't seem to get away from it. How many hours a day? In the middle of the week? So not on the weekend? In the middle of the week, let's see, I don't know, a few hours every day. 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe, I don't know, depends. When I'm working on a video, of course it's VCV Rec. When I'm messing around, it's also VCV Rec. It's everywhere now, VCV Rec. When I make music, it's VCV Rec. Let's do something like this. Let's use tremor. No, you know what? Let's build our own kick. Let's use the functional VCO. I'm using the functional VCO because the FM input, which is exponential, which is exactly like volt per octave, has also an attenuator, so I don't need to add another VCA. And I will use another spank. I will use a sine wave to spank. This will go to the mixer already. Let's see. And I will use another output from the pulses expansion. Let's use number 7. So this. Okay, and let's see what happens when I use the same envelope from spank to modulate the FM amount. Take the pitch down. Oh yeah. We can modulate the decay time just to get some movement. Movement is life. This is Spongel. This is so cool. Totally, Vim, totally. But you know, somehow you will find a way to make this happen. Also without all those VCAs and whatnot. I mean, you have modules also like veils or shades it's called? I forgot already. No, not shades, veils and blinds. You know that you can use, you have 4 in one module that you can use. You don't need another VCA, another VCA, another VCA. But yeah, for sure, all those oscillators and everything, yeah. Yeah, blinds, exactly, blinds and veils, yeah. This is nice, this is a nice patch. The vectoral modules, you mean the vectoral expander? It's a part of the, I will show you this. We have the Turing Machine, so this stream is all about the Turing Machine and expanders from Skylights. So you have the Turing Machine and you have 3 expanders. You have the volts that we used in the first patch. You have the pulse that we used also now. And you have the vectoral, and they are all connected to the Turing Machine from Skylights. It's called LN. Skylights, yeah. And again, we didn't do it now, but you can use the expand output also. It's stepped voltage. You can use it. You can quantize it. You can use it for modulation. You can run it through a slew limiter and use it to modulate whatever you want. And of course, like we've seen here, we can use more than one expander per Turing machine. I mean, you just take another cable. You can use 5 volts expanders and create a really weird sequence with a sequential switch, for example. What I wanted to show, I forgot who it was, but someone asked me how to record the Turing machine into the phrase sequencer. Are you still here? Let me know. It's a shame that we didn't make this actually. Process work with a different clock than the base module. No, it has no clock input. The clock input is not really a clock input. Front, yes, you are still here. I will show you this now. The clock input is not a clock input per se. It's changing the behavior of the outputs from gates to pulses. That's all what it's doing. If you want to use pulses, you need the Turing machine through the expansion output. Okay, so now let's have a look. Let's have a look at how we can record. I will leave the music on because it's nice. If it's bothering you while I speak, let me know. So let's use the phrase sequencer from Impromptu Modular, and I will use the phrase sequencer to record the sequence I have. Emma, first of all, hello, thank you for joining. It's been a while. Thank you for joining us, and yes, you can save, when you save the patch, the sequence will be saved, and also you can save it as a preset. But there are other advantages of recording the Turing machine or any sequence, whatever, to the phrase sequencer, because you can mangle it, you can create a few different sequences and sequence between them. You can do all sorts of crazy things with this sequencer. So let me just show you real quick how you can do this. First of all, you will need the expansion. So right click, extra CVs. Do you need the expansion? Wait a minute, let me think. No, you don't need the expansion, sorry. This was maybe in a different version. So what you do is like this. First of all, the CV input you will get from the Turing machine. So the output of the Turing machine will go to the CV input of the phrase sequencer, and now the phrase sequencer will write only, let me do this. Let me take the Turing machine here down, and what we need also is a clock. So the phrase sequencer will write only when it receives a trigger, copy paste edit, trigger to the right input. So we have the CV going in, and now when we connect the same clock that the Turing machine is receiving to the right input of the phrase sequencer, and you can see it's running, and we have the sequence. I will disconnect it, and we have the sequence running here. If I clock the sequence, then I will make attach. You can see that the sequence, this is the sequence from the Turing machine. It's been recorded to the phrase sequencer. So this is how you record. Now again, now you can do whatever you want with it. You can turn off gates, you can turn on the gate 2 and activate all sorts of stuff. You can add slide, tide steps, you can add a different gate functions, the gate modes. You can transpose the sequence. If I turn the attach off, you can transpose the sequence, so you can create one sequence, the original one, another one transposed. You can switch, you can invert, you can do whatever you want now with the phrase sequencer. So you have this sequence from the Turing machine. Yeah, it's easy again. CV input to the CV input of the phrase sequencer, and the same clock you send to the Turing machine, you will send also to the phrase sequencer to the right input, to this one here, and it will record the sequence. If you know the length of the sequence, you can change the length of the sequence of the Turing machine. If not, never mind. What you can also do, and this I don't know why, I mean, if you can save it as a preset, it doesn't matter, but there was a question in the forum how you can record control voltage. If you go to Sonus Modular, it's called, there is a Campione, it's a live sampler. Let's take a scope, which will sample, which will record also control voltage. So I will take to the input the Turing machine, and let's start recording. Let's take it to the output. It's recording. I will stop the recording, and let's let it play. Where is it? Play. Loop. Come on. Now. So now we have the voltage from the Turing machine coming out, if I will disconnect the input, coming out from the sampler. So I've recorded it, and this is really recording it to a sampler, and I can use it for other things. Oh, okay, so it will not save the, even if I save it as a preset, it will not save it? Probably not, of course not. It's a live sampler, so it's just for live situations. But still, it's nice because here you can invert. Because here you can invert the direction of play, so you can invert the sequence also, which is nice. Change the speed, change the start and end. So I can turn on the speed, change the start and end points. Yeah. So maybe the sampler from Nhisti, let's try it with Nhisti, but then I will have to save the file somewhere, it's a WAV file, but let's try it anyway. Nhisti, let's try sampler. There is another one from Nhisti, the quad sampler. What shall I try here? There are so many modules. Tomer Achmiel, hello! Hi. Where is it? The quad simpler? No, it's not. It's not the quad simpler. Sampler. Let's use. Where is it? Confusing. Complex. Oh, the complex one. Yeah, exactly. So let's send the Turing machine to the complex, the input of the complex simpler, and let's hit record. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah. Very nice. So now we can see it already here. I mean, if I turn it to the clock, we can see the sequence. Again, you can change the start and stop time, the speed, everything, and also you can save the WAV file, which means that you have it saved as a file and you can load it whenever you want, which is also a good solution if you want to record control voltage. Maybe there will come a video about it, I don't know, there are so many things to make videos on, and time is the problem of making it and of watching. Anti-click is a slew. Where is the anti-click here? Ah, yeah. Small slew, yeah. Anti-click. To play the wow, you can take the WAV file to your DAW and make all sorts of stuff there. Can also be cool. Okay, so this was recording control voltage. Again, maybe there will come a video about it, I don't know. And recording also to the phrase sequencer. I will delete this just because if you download this patch, you don't need all of this stuff. I will save it again. Let's play again with those alien voices just for a second. Very cool, guys. Thank you for joining. This was fun. 2 interesting patches, I think. This was really fun. The Turing Machine from Skylights with expanders. I hope you enjoyed this one. Very cool. I'm happy with this patch. Richard, thank you for joining us all the way back from Australia, from down under. Thank you so much, really. Thank you all for joining. You guys are awesome. Again, tomorrow, probably early tomorrow, the video will be up on the channel if you want to check out what happened, and the patches will be in the description also. Yeah, Snoopy over the hills, let me know how it went with Rampage, with Kinks also today. Also Vim, by the way, also, if you try this with Kinks, let me know how, what happened. Ah, but you don't have a quantizer, Vim. Oh, now you need a quantizer. Slippery slope, my friend. Emma, thank you. Mark, all, Patman, everyone, thank you so much. Again, some alien sounds. Have a good one. Have a good one, and thank you again. Until next time, cheers. Ciao, bambinos. Bye bye.